Let's talk now about teaching students how to subtract fractions. In this video, we'll talk about how to teach students to subtract fractions with common denominators. So, just like with adding fractions, in order to subtract fractions, you must have a common denominator. So in this first simple example, 5/6 minus 3/6, students simply need to keep the same denominator and subtract the numerators. 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer, the difference, is 5/6. However, let's model that with some fraction strips. So to model subtracting fractions, it would be taking away, just like when you would teach students how to subtract with whole numbers. You take away. So we have the 5/6 up here already, and we're going to take away 1/2 of the 6th, and that leaves us with 3/6. Now students may notice that they could simplify we're supposed to take away 3/6. There's the 3/6. Now the difference is 2/6. Students may notice that they could simplify 2/6. Remember, they could divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and since 2 is a factor of 2 and 6, that would be the number to divide. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. But with our model here, they may just be able to see that 2/6 is equivalent to the 1/3. So that's the difference. The next fraction problem, I thought this was an interesting one. 2/2 minus 1/2. Denominators are the same. 2 minus 2 is 1/2. I thought this would be a good problem to have students think about, encourage them to think about the meaning of the parts. So 2/2 means it's equivalent to 1 whole. And again, subtract means take away. So we're going to take away one of the halves, and we are left with 1/2. The next problem, we're dealing with mixed numbers. So again, this one, we still have a common denominator. So students can subtract the numerators. 2 minus 1 is 1, but then there are 2 wholes here. Take away 0 wholes, so that would be 2 and 1/3 as the difference. So let's model this problem. 2 and 2/3. 2 and 2/3. Take away 1/3, and you're left with 2 and 2/3. I gave this problem to lead us to the next problem, which is slightly more complicated because it's going to require regrouping. So let's look here. We have 2 and 1/3 minus 2/3. So let's start this one with the model, and then we'll go with the standard algorithm. So we have 2 and 1/3, and we need to take away 2/3. The problem is, in this problem, there are not enough thirds up here for me to take away 2 of them. So what I need to do is, just like if we were working with base 10 blocks, we need to trade. So I'm going to trade this 1 whole for an equivalent 3/3. So now I still have the same original problem, 2 and 1/3, and now I can take away 2/3, and I'm left with 1 and 2/3. So let's look at this with the traditional algorithm. 2 and 1/3 minus 2/3. I cannot take away 2/3 from 1/3, so I need to regroup. So I need to regroup by making this 1 whole and 3/3. I traded. So 1/3 plus 3/3 is 4/3. And now I can take away 4/3 minus 2/3. That gives me the 2/3. And then I still have 1 whole left over.